Hello, arty peoples, and welcome to another episode of Jerry's Live. My name is Emmy Klein, and I'm your host this evening. And today's class is all about alcohol ink. And we're going to specifically be doing alcohol ink on something a little fun. These clear acrylic tiles, which I have been going a little crazy for. I might have gone a little nuts at making examples for you guys, and Katie did threaten to take away my alcohol inks. But this is such a fun process that I am very excited to share with you guys. Now, today's class is JL191, which should be, I think, yeah, over here in the corner of the screen. So if you are interested in any of the materials that I'm using today, make sure you go to the website, jerrysartarama.com, and type in the code JL191, and that should bring up all of the materials that I'm using. So with that being said, before you jump right in, I did want to tell you guys that today we actually are, well, not today, this whole week, we're actually having an anniversary sale. Our 53rd year of being open, the anniversary sale. I'm so excited because we are just wanting to celebrate 53 years of being open and give you guys amazing sales and deals. It's this week only. We are going to have doorbuster deals that end on Friday. So if you are interested in getting lots of discounts, Friday is the last day to get them. They're also going to have daily e-gift card giveaways and free gifts with purchases. And there's also an art challenge. Right now the topic is April showers, bring May flowers, which is super fun. I mean, it's the time for it. And that actually, the art challenge is going to end Sunday. So art challenge ends on Sunday, April 25th, in case you're watching in the future. The sales, though, the anniversary sales, end Friday the 23rd. Just go to the website. It's on the homepage, all the details of what you can do. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that's happening right now, and super fun. So let's jump in. Now, before I actually show you guys how to do this, I wanted to show you examples of what I did. So just as a general, like, these are the clear acrylic tiles. They come in a pack of 5, and there are all different sizes. So we have a 5x5, there's a 5x7, a 4x6, I think, a 3x6, and I grabbed all the different sizes. There's even a little 2x2. It's so cute. So they come in packs of 5, and so when you first get them, they're saran wrapped, so they'll come like this. And they have on both sides a clear, just a little protective sheet. So before you actually start painting on them, make sure you remove that, because otherwise you're going to be painting the throwaway plastic, and that would make you very sad if you got really far into it and all of a sudden, that would make me sad. But it's essentially going to look kind of like this. So this right here, I have 3 different brands of alcohol inks too. So I had the Pinata, which is the Jacquard Pinata color inks, which are, they come in all different colors. They also have some metallics, which are really fun, and I'll get into that. Then there's also the Mirabeau, which has the alcohol inks, and they also have metallics. Wait, do they have, Katie, do they have metallics in Mirabeau? I didn't grab any.
I don't know.
They
have glitter.
They don't have, I don't know if they have metallics. Well, I'll have to double check that, but I do know they have glitter, and I've been obsessed with the glitter. I'll show you why. They also have these really fun neon colors, which they are so vibrant that it almost glows. And this is just in normal lighting, but the different colors are so fun. And I even have a black light here. They legitimately glow. Like, it's so pretty. And I'll show you a little bit more on that too. So that's the Mirabeau. And then we have this Ranger alcohol inks. Yes, just the, I can't remember the name. Is it Jim Holtz? Jim Holtz, right? Jim Holtz Ranger inks. Should have written that down. They also have their own line of alcohol inks, which are really pretty. And they kind of come in these very desaturated, almost antique-y kind of looking colors. So they also have the metallics in that, and there's a couple different kinds. Which
Tim
are
Holtz.
Tim Holtz. I'm sorry, not Jim Holtz. It's really small on here. It's hard for me to read. Then it's in cursive, so Tim Holtz, my bad. But they do come in the desaturated colors with the metallics as well. And they have 2 different kinds of metallics, and I'll show you what those do. But I have noticed between all of them, they kind of dry at different varying rates. Pinata, I think, dries kind of the quickest. And then Mirabu is a close second. And then Ranger actually stays wet a little bit longer than the two of them. But they're all really beautiful with the different colors. And the cool thing is that with the acrylic tiles, and sorry, I actually have little post-it notes on the back of them so I can remember what I did for each one. But if you get different acrylic tiles and you have the different effects on them, you can actually layer them, and if you illuminate them, you can actually have the different effects kind of shining through and kind of sparkling, which is really pretty. So this was the 3x6 size as well. So these were really fun. Now let me get those out of the way. But today I'm going to actually be working on the 5x5, and the reason why is because they actually fit in these Gotham frames really, really well. And so this is just the Gotham frame as it is. So the 5x5 will fit right in there. Fits perfectly. And you can get some really beautiful effects. So what I decided that I wanted to do was attach a chain to one. And I can actually hang this in my window if I wanted to. And this is just another one of the Pinata tiles. Now to actually secure the tiles inside of these frames, I did get the glazier points, and you can actually just shove these. If you go to the overhead, I can show you a little bit. Katie, you want to transition to overhead real quick? No, you're fine.
We have a sound issue on YouTube we're trying to figure
out.
So.
Oh no! I'm sorry guys, if you can hear me, I hope you can hear me. I know there's a sound problem. They're working on it though. But these are the glazier points, and it does actually just, if you get one of these, you can actually shove them right into just the end of that with a flathead screwdriver, or they actually do have this tool that one of the glazier points fits right on there, and you can actually just shove it straight in. And that's a really nice and easy way to secure the panels into these frames. The other thing you can do is a double-sided sticky tape, and if you want to actually transition back to the front, I'm sorry. 1 second, guys. They're trying to fix the sound problems.
We're working on it.
There we go. So that's one way of the way that I've had the tiles mounted straight in there. Now that's just a single tile in there. You can also do multiple tiles. Like this right here is the neon ones. Sorry, I had it plugged in for a reason. So this is the neon tiles, and I actually have 3 of them in here because I have a black light as well. This is just one of those, like, the rolls of lights that I could get off of Amazon, and it's got a double-sided sticky tape. And so with the black light, these are the black light activated Mirabu inks that glow. They're so pretty. So this is multiple layers, and this is just something that if I wanted to, I could hang it right on my wall, or I could also hang that up in the window if I put the little, like, attachments. And the cool thing about this roll of the blacklight tape is that you can cut them at segments, so you can actually shorten it a lot depending on how big your frame is or where you want to kind of put it inside of. So that's the neon ones. Get that out of the way. Sorry. I got a lot of stuff on my table. How are we doing on the sound? Is it getting better? Oh no.
It's only on YouTube. So.
Only on YouTube. All right, if you're on YouTube, go to Facebook. So this is the one that I had, and again, you can take the multiple tiles and layer them and get really pretty effects just to kind of have them going through. Now, while I was doing these tester tiles, I did drop one. Now, this is acrylic and it can scratch. So when I dropped this actual tile, I was like just so sad because I scratched the back side of it. So I kind of went with it, and I actually took sandpaper and just sanded the back side of this just a little bit. Here, let me get this posted off there. They have the different colors on there. So I actually sanded the back side of this, and I don't know if you can kind of see that. If you want to go to the overhead view real quick, they might be able to see that a little bit better. So you can see that I just kind of scuffed it. So it made that scratch kind of disappear, but it also gave kind of a frosted look to it. Now I could still put the alcohol ink on this side, or I can do it on this side. Either way, I have options, but like I had already done this side. So I really wanted to make sure that I made that scratch disappear, because I was very sad that I had almost ruined this tile, but if it gets scratched, you just kind of roll with it. So this, by the way, so this is the Pinata Inks, and you can kind of see the silver that I have going throughout it right there. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure that you don't have a glare. It's hard, there's a lot of glare in here sometimes. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of like sparkle kind of shining through. And the cool thing about these alcohol inks is that even if I decided a week from now that I wanted to continue to work back into this, I still can. So like if I were to take alcohol, this is just isopropyl alcohol, and start dropping it on here, it still reactivates the ink. So this is just isopropyl alcohol, and I can see that it's starting to move the pigments just a little bit. And you can kind of see it's starting to clear that out right there. So even after, like I did this last week, even after all this time, it can still be reactivated and you can still continue to work back into these, which is super fun. I'm going to put that over there. Now the reason why I do have this tray right here is because if you are working at home, the alcohol inks are so fluid that you really want to have something that would kind of catch it. And so this has that nice lip, and if you do get it in here, you can very easily clean it off with rubbing alcohol. But it's also nice and flat, because I know I had the enameled butcher tray, and that has kind of a bit of a bubble usually right in the middle. So I definitely would recommend the Soho butcher tray because it's super flat. And if you have any kind of a tilt to this, the alcohol ink is so fluid that it's going to run to that edge. So this is a nice way of, I can prop it up on my just a little throwaway cup, and then put my tile right on top of it, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Now, I was going to do this for today's show, but I think that's a little too dark, so I'm just gonna put it on the table, and so you guys can see what I'm doing. But I'm probably gonna make a mess on this table, so we're allowed though. Let me drop that down. So, the other thing I wanted to show you, before I started on the actual demo. So with the Ranger inks, let me put these down real quick. So here are my two tiles that I did with the Ranger inks. Now Ranger has what's called a metal mixative. So right there you can see the mixative label. And then they also have the alcohol inks that are metallic, and so this is called the alloy. There's a big difference between the two of them. So this one, as you can see, like you can still see the gold that kind of dropped in, but like this one, that copper is kind of almost like floating on top. So it gives you two very different kind of styles, and it's super, sorry, I'm trying to make sure that there's not a glare. You can really see it quite a lot once you flip it. So that's the other thing, the other reason why I like to work on these clear tiles is because you can do something and it looks incredibly beautiful on one side, but then if you flip it, you get almost an entirely different piece. So it gives you two different things. But the mixative though, the mixatives with the Rangers, the metallics almost kind of like sink to the bottom, whereas the ones that are labeled alloy, these kind of float on top. So they're two very different materials, and it's all in the same range, or in the same brand. So I did want to make sure that you guys know there are two very different metallics when it comes to that Ranger inks. So those are super fun. And like I said, these are the Mirabu, the neon ones. So like as you can see, they all get very, very bright. And let me grab my black light flashlight. But like you can see that they light up. And it's just so incredible how much of a glow you get. I hope you guys can see that. I hope the camera's picking it up, but like the cool thing is that you can actually see, like it almost turns into like a flashlight, how much these things glow. They're so pretty. Like the inks just glow with this black light. So as far as neon ones go, these are really beautiful, and I mean, like, you can seriously do the layering. I don't think I like this orange on top of the blue purple, but like maybe this right here, you know, I like that a little bit more, like the colors coming through. So you can get those different kind of layered effects. And the cool thing with this is I also use that glitter. the Mirabu has the sparkle glitter in there. So you can see, like, there are 4 different types of glitter. There is a rainbow, there is the violet blue-green, there is gold bronze green, and then there is blue green gold. So they kind of all, each one has that like shift in the color, which is so pretty. Where did I also used it in one of these. Now, this is another thing that I decided to do. I'm not joking. Katie literally told me I was about to lose my alcohol ink privileges. So this right here is the Mirabu inks. And this is something I'm going to actually hang in my house. I'm very excited. So as you can see, they're the 3 different panels. And what I did was I linked them with this chain right here. Let me kind of scooch that out of the way. Whoops, bottle's falling. So this chain right here, I just got from Home Depot. And each of those little links, I could very easily take pliers and kind of just pry them apart. And I turn them into S-hooks, and then I just kind of clamp them onto the end of my panels here. Now, the way that I got those holes is that I just took a drill, literally this drill, and I got the smallest drill bit that I could find, and you have to start the drill kind of slowly, and then once it starts biting into your acrylic tile, just let the drill do its work and speed it up, and then it'll go straight through, super easy, and I have not had a single tile crack on me. So drilling holes on these has been super easy. But I was talking about the sparkles. Look at this. This is the Mirabu. I used the black, the turquoise, the Bordeaux, and I think the lemon. Yes, these are the 4 colors that I used to get all of these really pretty colors. And then I think actually on this one I had a little bit of white kind of dropped in, so that was the only one I had that happen. And I honestly forgot I had that, so I didn't repeat it throughout the other ones. But I did use all of the glitter in all of these, so they're so sparkly. And when, like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's just like, it glows. Now the cool thing is that I'm going to hang this in my window, and I did test it. I hung it up in the window here that gets really bright sun in the afternoons, and I had a piece of tape covering this part of the tile, and the color did not shift at all. It's been hanging up all week, 7 days. So I don't think the color shift is going to be very apparent, if there is any at all. The only thing that I would maybe suggest to just double check and test, I haven't done this myself, is that because I'm just going to hang these on the inside of my windows, if you hang these on the outside, you might have a slight problem with weather. I haven't tested that, like how well these do in like rain and all that, in the elements. So this is something I'm going to hang in my inside window, and I'm so excited for it. It's just so pretty. So I mean, you can have these just a million tiles. Speaking of a million tiles, Katie, do you want to go to the front view real quick?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This is what I did with all the little 2x2s. So I ended up doing the little tiles, and again, I just grabbed the chain that I had from Home Depot, and it was super inexpensive to get the chain, and I just put a couple of links in between each one, and I just linked them all up. So I think this one I am going to double check to see how well they do and I'm going to hang it from my porch in the weather and rain and all that. I would say I might even be able to varnish the one side, but I haven't actually tested that out, so if that's something you guys want me to test out, I can totally do that. But I'm not sure how well varnish is going to do with the alcohol inks. That's just because I did so many testers. I did not actually test that out. So you guys will have to tell me if you want me to do that and see how it works. So those are the little 2x2 tiles. And also, when I did this with the chain, it's the same chain. Again, I got one length of chain, and it was very inexpensive. But I did take the Gotham frames, and I put these little eye bolts in there. And we have the eye bolts in the t-shirts cart. So again, if you're interested in any of the little hardwares that I have on here, go to the website and type in the code JL191, and these things should all pop up. So the only thing we don't have is the chain, though. So go to Home Depot for that. Now the last little example that I have over here before I jump into the demo is this guy. Now this one I have multiple tiles, and I actually, before I popped everything in there, I forgot to put the glazer points in there. So this is a great example of if you don't have those, like the tiles secured, and you flip it backwards, you're going to have a bit of a gap, which is not a huge deal because I can just shake it back in, and if I have it hung up on my wall, it's not a big deal. Now, the reason why this is my last example is because I put little fairy lights in there. So what I did is I actually have a piece of pro foam that I cut down to the exact size of this, the hole in the back here, which is not exactly 5x5, it's just a little bit bigger, so your 5x5 tiles can fit perfectly in there. But then I have the fairy lights that are battery operated, and I just kind of put the tiles in, I put the fairy lights in, and then I just pop that pro foam in there, and it's not hung, like there's nothing else in there. So that's kind of the way it's been secured. But I was thinking this would be adorable to just have hung up with like maybe even several of them in my house. My whole house is going to be decorated with alcohol inks. And the best part is that they have different settings. So like they flash, they do all the different things. And again, these are like the fairy lights that you can just get anywhere. I think Home Depot has them. You can maybe even find them on Amazon, but that was one of the other things that I was like very excited to do. This is why Katie told me no more. Alright, so let's get to the demo. Let's get some things out of the way real quick. Now I know you guys might have some questions, and I know Katie is kind of running around trying to get that sound fixed, so just bear with us just for a little bit, and she will do her best to get to them. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is if you guys did want to put them in a frame like this and you didn't want to see your wall behind them, you can very easily paint one side white. I actually use the Turner acrylic wash on this. So say I love this neon one, but I don't want to have the wall through it. I could very much hide it. You can also even paint just the back side of the tile, and then have several of them. Or you can layer them like I had before. But that was one other way that I wanted to show you. Now, throughout this process, I was curious to see if, because I'm almost using them like stained glass. I was curious to see if they would react kind of like stained glass. So what I did is I bought the relief paste, which is a Miraboo brand, and this is what makes it look like stained glass. So I ended up doing another one. Sorry, Katie. And I did multiple of them. So I have my really pretty flowers, and then I have the little bumblebee honeycomb kind of pattern. And then if I layer them, they look adorable. I was also going to do one more, and I was going to do a little bumblebee, but I ran out of time. So I'll have to do that later. But this relief paste, though, super easy. All you have to do is, as soon as you take it out of the package, it is ready to go. Take the cap off, and you can literally outline any kind of an image. What I did is, because I did not want to freehand this, I actually printed out a honeycomb pattern, and I just put it right underneath my tile and just traced it. It was beautiful. So that's a really easy way of doing that. Now, This was a little bit more difficult with the flowers because I wanted, like, here, I'm trying to make sure.
I'm gonna flip it for him.
Okay, perfect. I was trying to make sure they could see it. Here we go. Perfect. So there's my honeycombs, and I used, I think I used a gold glitter in this, and then I also used, so I had the, yes, this is the gold bronze glitter, the Mirabeau. So the thing with the gold alcohol ink is that you really have to shake the bejeebers out of it to really get it to kind of incorporate, and you really want to make sure you continue to shake these. But as you can see, like I got it up here, that gold glitter just kind of sparkles all throughout there. And I think I also used the gold, one of the other gold inks. I think I used the rich gold in Pinata. So I also started mixing these inks together, and you can very much use Mirabeau and Pinata and Ranger all together. So, and even though they have the different dry times, they actually work really well together, and there's not any kind of a weird reaction. So as you can see, this was the side that actually had the relief paste, and all that gold just kind of stuck to it, which I'm not really mad at. It's just, there's one side and then there's another side, and you can pick which one you like the most. So, but what I was saying with this, this is the clean side where I don't have anything. This is the side where I was actually painting it. So when I started painting this, I did the leaves first, and that green just kind of went everywhere. So all I did is I took a cotton swab, got one side just covered with alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol, and just kind of cleaned it up, and it cleaned up beautifully. You can even see just a little bit right here where I haven't quite gotten all that purple out too. But that was, again, one of those things that you just have to be aware of, is that like the purple was going to affect the yellow. So if I took, I did the yellow first, honestly, and then I laid down the purple, and that purple just went completely over that yellow. So I had to pick it all back up and drop that yellow back in. But I can play with it back and forth, and then I ended up liking this side way better because you can see my colors. Right? So eventually I will also have a little bumblebee right here because it's adorable, and I apparently am obsessed with this process.
Before you put that away, did you mention what colors, they were asking what colors the honeycombs were?
Oh yeah, the
Do you
honeycomb.
remember?
I actually used every, oops, sorry, let me pull this down. I used every yellow that I could find in all of my brands. So again, I was mixing them up. So let me just pull all the ones that I have. I don't think I used that. I did not use the orange. Then I didn't use the neon yellow. So I used the Mirabeau lemon. I used the Pinata Sunbright yellow and the golden yellow. And then I also used the Mirabeau, the gold glitter. And I believe I also used, let me double check here. I believe, yeah, this was the gold that I used, because you can kind of see that it floated right on top. And that Pinata metallics tend to float like the Ranger, the alloys. So like I said, the mixatives one will sink down and kind of almost act like glitter, but they don't like to move a whole lot. I mean, you can kind of take a Q-tip and kind of spread it around a little bit and get it to move a lot more. But this Pinata gold really does float, and it almost, it like iceberg floats, like it chunks up. It's really funny. I'll have to show you guys how I did that. But yeah, that was literally every yellow that I had in every brand, plus the gold glitter and the rich gold. So those are the colors I used here. And I think I used, for this one, all of my purples in the Jacquard Pinata. So I had the blue violet, the passion purple, and the Senorita magenta was what I did here. And you can see I actually did a little bit of the sparkle too. And then there's white that I dropped in for that purple. And I mean, like I said, you can use all kinds of different colors. I honestly might have even used the amethyst in the Ranger. I'm not entirely sure because I didn't actually take notes on these. I did this at home so Katie wouldn't yell at me. But that was one really fun way that this relief paste works really, really well. It's just that this alcohol ink is so fluid. You just need to be able to have patience because it's not going to be controlled very easily. So for whatever reason, it really likes to spread. Now I did also notice just down here, right, let me put that down so you don't have a glare. Right here at that little cross where I have this little like Y shape where I kind of use the relief paste as the, they almost look like the branches, like the little sticks and stuff. That right there came unattached and kind of broke off with the isopropyl alcohol. So this kind of picked that back up, but I was scrubbing it quite a lot because this entire area turned purple. So I wasn't being very kind to that, but the cool thing is that as soon as it, like I got all of the purple cleaned up, I went back with the Mirabu paste and I just went bloop and it went right back. So if you're kind of rough like I was, it will kind of pick back up. And I was curious if this would be hard to kind of control or if it would be affected by the alcohol ink, which the alcohol ink doesn't really do anything in the time that it takes for it to dry. But the isopropyl alcohol, if you're scrubbing at it with like a Q-tip, that's when you do have the issues. So, any more questions before I jump into the demo real quick?
I have a couple because I've missed a few on these.
And I appreciate you guys having patience with
working
us.
on YouTube now.
Yay! Sorry, YouTube. We appreciate your patience.
So let me go back, and I apologize if I've missed some of the things you said, and these are repeats, but...
No worries.
Can you use normal glass?
Yes, you can. The reason why I like the alcohol ink, or the acrylic tiles, is because they are very inexpensive. They do not have sharp edges to where I won't cut myself. And if I drop them, like I said, the one that I dropped, I scratched the backside, and I can make it like this nice frosted look by just scratching more with sandpaper. So yes, you can use glass, but I know myself and I don't trust myself entirely to use glass. So I mean that was the only reason why I was very excited about the acrylic tiles, because I won't hurt myself.
In the same vein as that, could you use like regular like big plexiglass panels if you wanted to?
Absolutely. I'm actually trying to convince the person who's like giving us these to give me bigger tiles. I mean that's something that I'm actually attempting to do just because I want them. But yes, you can absolutely use these in a larger setting.
I also had somebody ask, and I apologize I can't find it right now, but about if you could do them on like glass bottles.
Yeah, I wouldn't see why not. The only thing that you need to be aware of is that a glass bottle, if it's like a square bottle and it's got that flat side, you'll be okay, but it's a very fluid ink. It's like ink. It's very, very fluid. And it does not dry super duper fast, so it's going to run right off. Now, maybe that's intentional. Maybe you do like the drippy kind of an effect, which will look fantastic. You can also technically brush it on. Where did that one tile go? I had it back here somewhere. Hold on, sorry. This is one tile that I did a test on. Oh, there it is. It's right over it. Sorry. I have a lot of things down here. So here, this is where I took the alcohol ink and I actually dripped it onto my brush, and I did a couple of brush strokes kind of in like a lotus-y kind of a shape. I was trying to do like a lotus blossom and like a water lotus, but I had a lot of issues trying to get it to be controlled in the sense that it didn't kind of blur out. So like you can see my brush strokes, but like you can see the edges aren't exactly super crisp. So as long as you're aware that that's kind of happen, it's not a big deal. But if you're trying to have a very crisp kind of illustrative style, it's going to be more difficult, because this is like this would be more of a way of doing kind of an illustration and having it be a lot more controlled than like say the brush. Although I'm not saying that you couldn't do it with this, I haven't, it's not easily controlled. And again, remember, if you start to do any kind of a painting around this ink that I've already laid down will pick back up. The only other thing I could think of is maybe having some kind of like a spray varnish in between the layers, but at that point you might as well just do another tile, you know, because you can continue to layer it on, and these are crystal clear, so as soon as you take that, like right here, you can see, hold on, there's a little bit of the, yeah, there's a plastic sheeting still on the back side of this. So I only removed it on the one side, but like I didn't remove the back, so as soon as I do, it is crystal clear. There is no haze to it at all. So you can actually do the layering that way, which is super fun. Any other questions before I jump into the demo?
I don't think so. If I have missed them, put them in the comments and I'll go back to them. I apologize.
Yes. Again, thank you guys so much for having patience with us and the audio issues. But if you do have questions that weren't answered, put them in the chat. Katie will grab them, and we can always kind of loop back through, because this isn't going to be a super long demo, but I just wanted to make sure that I could show you guys how to do this. So I'm going to grab a tile. Now, when I was doing the alcohol ink on all of these tiles, because I did several of them, I figured out very quickly, only remove the protective coating on one side. I'm going to leave the bottom side, I'm going to leave that on. The reason why is because these tend to drip, which is why I said put that, the butcher tray, the gray butcher tray, the Soho, the peel-off palette. If you put this underneath here, it's going to catch all your drips. But since this is too dark for you guys to see what I'm doing on here, I'm just going to make a mess, which is okay. Again, I'm allowed. Alright, so, let's do, I definitely need to show you guys that glitter because it's so pretty. I can maybe show you all the glitter because I will glitter everything. I always joke that Katie loves all the sparkles, but like, this is so pretty. It's such a pretty glitter. I can't blame her on this one. So remember, glitter and the white and the metallics, you really need to shake quite a bit. Shake it like maracas. All right, so I will probably continue to shake those, the glitter ones, but the first things first is that I'm going to lay down a couple colors. Let's do some Pinata. Now, I've realized that while doing this, I prefer the Pinata just because they dry so quickly. And that's what I'm going to use tonight because I don't want you guys to be sitting here literally waiting for the paint to dry. So, let's straighten this back out. Alright, so we're going to use our kind of primaries. This is the Senorita Magenta. I almost said Senor. So it will drip quite quickly. Then let's use that Sunbright Yellow. Maybe a little bit over there. And then let's do, which one is it? Is it the Sapphire Blue? Is also a really pretty. Do I have that in a small one? So I also almost forgot to tell you guys, Pinata does come in the 2 different sizes, whereas the Mirabu and the Ranger only come in that other one size. But these are the 2 different sizes for the Pinata. The ones right here, you definitely want to use an eyedropper. We have the little pipettes, which I have in the, I guess I don't have my Sapphire Blue. That's fine. We'll use the Baja Blue. I do have the little pipettes in the teacher's cart. So right now I'm just using a plastic cup with some isopropyl alcohol. Words.
We did have a question.
Yes.
On that. Does it matter what percentage the alcohol is?
Have you had any difference between?
I haven't seen any difference.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, right now I've just been using the 91% because that's what I could find in the store.
Yeah.
But I honestly,
I've used them with the 72%, whatever it is.
I think they all kind of work
I can't tell
the same.
difference.
Yeah. I honestly haven't noticed
Not enough one to make me go, oh, I need one or the other.
Yeah, no. We definitely haven't seen much of a difference. Now, this yellow and the red that I already put down, just because I put it down kind of a while ago, it's probably pretty dry. They dry really fast because remember they're all alcohol based, so they evaporate really quickly. Now with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, they give you those really pretty, almost like water drop kind of looks, and then it starts mixing it all together, which is so pretty. Now, the thing that you can do, and I have a straw to make sure I can do this. Is you can blow it around. I've also used a hair dryer, which is really fun, and that actually moves it around and dries it really quickly. I just didn't want to hair dryer you guys to death because we already had audio issues, and you guys need better audio than that. So I'll just use a straw. Like you can see, and you can also turn this. You can see right here it's getting really dark. And that's all the different colors kind of mixing together. But if I blow on it, it'll kind of start showing that color a little bit more. So it's got the kind of purple, some teal green going into like the red. So I'm not crazy about this like funky where they're all mixing together kind of look, but that's okay because I can glitter it. So the thing with the glitter that I found out is that sometimes that like the ball that's in there that kind of you shake it up with gets stuck in the nozzle. So you do kind of want to hold it at an angle kind of like this, which is more up. If you can see, yeah, you can see on the camera. I tend to do that and then I like kind of shake it out, which is so pretty. Look at that. Look at that glitter. It's so lovely. And it still acts just like the isopropyl alcohol, so everywhere where there's a little drop, it tends to just spread. So I hope we're having ooh and ah moments in the chats. So that one was the violet blue-green glitter. So it has a little bit of like the purple, the blue, and the green kind of a chromatic shift in the glitter. This one is the blue, green, gold. So I'm going to try to put that in my green areas. Oh, so pretty. And then, let's see, I also have, this is that really gold looking one. I'll put this over here. All right. And the cool thing with this is that you can actually layer over and over and over again on the same tile. But if you wanted to, you can also add more tiles. That's what I just like. There's so many options, all the layering options. Up. I'm gonna just turn this, and you can see like I've just got. There's a blob on the bottom. Just got it all over my finger, and it's okay because this is.
It will stain your fingers.
It will stain your fingers, but it's not toxic, right? I probably should have looked into that. Honestly, haven't checked. I would believe they're non-toxic. Like 95% sure. Katie's checking for me. I wouldn't attempt to get them on my hands on a regular basis, but like, if you really don't want to touch it, you can also wear gloves. It's not a big deal. So this is that rainbow glitter and has just a little bit of like every color in there. And I have glitter like all over me from this. Now, the cool thing with this is that I can let this dry, and then as soon as it's 100% dry, I can actually go back with the isopropyl alcohol and do those drops to where they would give me kind of the open spaces where, here, let me actually shift that up without dripping all over my hand. You can also see like right here, I did a drip of the isopropyl alcohol. I think this is like a combination of the white and some alcohol because I was trying to get that white to really move. And then here, like you can see where I dripped the alcohol as well. So this is a really cool way. And then as soon as this is dry, I can also drip in more colors. So you can go back and forth between them and just add more and more of that like luminosity and the colors to it, which is super fun. And this is why I've been doing this nonstop for a while. Yeah, I can see a good chunk of this is dry. So you can see like right there, that's dry, but this like darker green is kind of moving into it. And that's still wet, but like that's dry, so it's kind of like taking over that area. All right, so that's mostly dry. So, I mean, that will just continue to react, which is just so much fun. Now, I did want to show you, I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to just put that off to the side. I was going to grab my cup because it's clear, but I also have these little tiny mini solo cups that I got from the store. This one's stuck to each other. I think I did pour art with these. So I just reuse my cups over and over again. But just something small, little cup is what I use to just prop my tiles up off the table, just so it doesn't puddle up underneath there. Let me get sorry, I need to get the plastic off of this. The plastic isn't super easy to remove, but if you take your fingernail and just kind of pick at the corner, it usually comes off fairly easy, but it's good that it is not easy to remove so it won't come off in transit. I wanted to show you what that gold does. Let me actually use the Ranger this time. So I'm going to use the alloy because it floats on top, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. Remember, metallics you have got to shake. Anytime you shake it and you hear that sound and it has that thing in there, that means that the pigment is super heavy and it's going to separate from the alcohol ink binder. So you really need to shake it. Now this one, I really love the look of these two inks together. So I'm going to use the cranberry in the Ranger ink, and I'm going to use that alloy that's called Mind, which is a very pretty coppery kind of a look. So remember, I have the top layer of that plastic coating off the top of this, with the bottom one still on. So it's going to protect the bottom side from any drips, but the top is going to receive the alcohol ink really easily. Alright, so there's the cranberry. So that's why I wanted to use that clear cup, because it's a little bit easier to see. Get a lot of alcohol ink on there. That's the face you have to make when you shake it too. Just so let me drip some more of that cranberry on there so you can see it. So as you can see, this a lot of the metallics, except for the ones that are labeled mixative, these are the ones that sink. The rest of the metallics that I found in the Pinata and the Ranger, they kind of float on the top of the surface like that. So as you can see, kind of like what I was saying, they're kind of like icebergs, like they chunk and they kind of group together, which is really funny. But then like it'll also kind of tend to go towards the edges of where the puddle of alcohol ink is. So you can kind of see it'll move just like that. And then it kind of comes right back, which is the weirdest, funniest, like, I don't even know like how to control that, to be honest, but it's just kind of a happenstance, kind of you can try to control it, but it'll do what it wants. So these are very, you have to be very forgiving of the ink and whatever it's going to do, because then this is something that like I struggle with as an artist, is being able to let go and do something a little bit more abstract, because my background is illustration, so being able to have something that's just going to do whatever it wants to do is a very freeing, fun way to kind of relax and unwind with art supplies. Now if you take isopropyl alcohol. You can see that it'll also repel the gold, which is super fun. And this right here is how I did this one. You can't see that, hold on. Shift it over, this guy. So you can see the two different colors that I have here. And again, as soon as this is dry, I can go back in with the isopropyl alcohol and drip it on top. The other thing that I found was really fun is one of our little spritz bottles. So this right here, I also labeled it isopropyl alcohol, so we wouldn't forget what's inside. Let me shift this back over here so you guys can see. Actually, this would probably be a lot more visible with the other one. So let me get this out of the way. Sorry, I'm like playing musical cups with my wet alcohol ink pieces. All right, so this is mostly dry. You can see just a few areas are still moving around. But if I take my spritz bottle and grab this, it also doesn't matter where I spritz it because it's the isopropyl alcohol. So you can see the fun thing with this is that it gives you these tiny, tiny little dots. Now if you spray more of it, it'll activate more of the area and give you not as many of those little dots, but it'll give you kind of a just a really fun finish, which is different. So that is alcohol inks. Do we have any questions? Yes. I mean, it was real fast.
Let's see. How will you get it off your hands? Is there a special cleaner? What do you do?
Isopropyl alcohol, my handy dandy easy wiper, right? There's my hand. Ta-da! Mostly off. I might need like wipe it down a little bit more, but this is, yeah, I've been doing this all week. It's been on my nails, it's been on everything. The only thing that I haven't been able to get it out of is the easy wipers. So I would say don't get it on clothes that you care about, but on your hands and everything, like it just wipes right off with isopropyl alcohol. Because remember, this reactivates it every time, unless you seal it.
And a couple people have asked about ventilation with these. I know that alcohol is not something you don't want to inhale when you're blowing on it.
No. It's honestly,
as far as getting on your skin, it's not bad, but the alcohol.
The alcohol smell to me isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like
I don't want to inhale it, but
yeah, don't try to like huff it. That's not a very good idea. But like honestly, the isopropyl alcohol in my cup smells more than the alcohol inks. So it's honest. If you use this, like if you have no problem with isopropyl alcohol being just in an open cup next to you, then you should be able to withstand any of these. They don't have much of a smell at all. So I would say if you have a aversion to smells, you might want to be really careful just to kind of do a tester. Maybe do it outside because it's about to be spring, summertime, and beautiful blue skies and nice and warm. So you should be able to do it on like a porch or something. But I would test it. Just kind of be safe. But there's not much of a smell. Any other questions, Zach?
As far as like different techniques and stuff like that, could you use like the end of a paintbrush, not the good end, the bad end,
Ooh,
to mix them around or kind of create lines and do reductive techniques in it?
I would imagine you could. And actually, this is the brush I used to do that tester where I actually did kind of brush it on. Let's do a tester. Why not? So I need to remove the. Sorry, guys. It takes me a minute. I probably should have prepped 5 of these panels. Okay, so you're saying grab the alcohol ink and just like kind of drip it in and then move it around with this. I would imagine, yeah, absolutely.
It's a pretty forgiving medium, honestly.
Yeah.
It
so
works with a lot of things.
There you go. Yeah, it really likes to follow the brush. Sorry, I have like drips underneath it. I'm trying not to. But the cool thing about that, like, you can get it to move around on you. Sorry, I'm trying to also not get a glare. But like you can see right here where I did the initial drip, the edges are kind of jaggedy, whereas like right here it's real thin, and then like it all of a sudden blossoms out. I have no idea why it does that, and that would be something that you'd have to like test out, because if you wanted a smooth line and this happens, you might get a little frustrated. But cool thing is that if you take my jar of Q-tips, if you take a Q-tip and get it in the isopropyl alcohol, let me get some of it off on my easy wiper. I could very easily take this, probably move it around like that, and kind of clean that line up, which would be fun. And now it's a happy little goober. So sorry, I couldn't help it. I had the Q-tip. So yeah, I mean, you can very clearly manipulate this to do all kinds of things, and that's the kind of the issue I've been having, is that there's so many options. And so I was like, ooh, I could do this, but then I could do this too.
Yeah.
And then Katie said, okay, that's enough. I mean, you have a lot of options.
Speaking of options, if you could only afford one of the sets, which set would you suggest?
I mean, the little Pinata inks come in, and I actually just completely dumped them all out of this. They come in the different sets like these. This had all the bottles in them. They have 2 different sets where they give you, how many bottles are in here? 9 bottles of alcohol ink, and they're really small. I want to say they're like half a fluid ounce, but like as you can see, 1 or 2 drips can go quite a far, like it can go quite a ways. But if you're anything like me, you will burn through them because you want to make all the things. So I would say, and that's the Ranger inks come in like 3 packs. So I think I got like these 3 colors together, and then I got a couple other extras. The Mirabu, do they come in a set? Because I think I got them all individual. I don't think they actually come in a set.
I'm looking.
Katie's checking. But the Pinata inks definitely do. If you do burn through your inks like I do, just go ahead and get a big bottle. Just go ahead. This is the 4 ounce bottle, so you got a lot of alcohol ink to play with. And then again, I use the, oh, they're open and spilling out, sorry. I got the bag of pipettes. I don't know how many of these I've already used, but like, that's what I use to drip my isopropyl alcohol. I also use them in these big 4 ounce bottles, but I mean, these are fantastic for an applicator to get them everywhere. And I think, is that all the things?
Do you have to seal it when it dries? I'm gonna have one more.
That's what Katie and I were talking about not that long ago. We were wondering if you do put it in the window, would it melt, and if you need to seal it, because like sometimes you have those glass paints that will get heated in the sun, and then all of a sudden it just kind of shifts down, and then you're just like, what's happening to my art? And that's why we did the test with this guy, and it didn't shift at all. So I don't know if you would need to shift or seal it for that reason. And again, I was going to hang this in my interior window, so I don't think sealing it's necessary. And whenever it heated up with the sunshine, it didn't get gummy or anything. I didn't notice anything like that. But if you do put them outside, like I was saying sorry with the noise. For this one, I was going to hang this. I have a really big eye bolt in my front porch where you would usually put a hanging plant, and I want to hang this instead. And I don't know if you would need to seal it to where it wouldn't have any effect from the elements. But otherwise, like, it doesn't get sticky. Like, once it's fully cured, unless you're putting isopropyl alcohol on it, it doesn't, like, it's not going to rub off or anything. Like, I mean, I've been grabbing these all day. Like they're not rubbing off of my hands unless they're wet with the isopropyl alcohol. So that was the only time I didn't really, like, it will get on you and kind of move around on you. I hope that answers that question.
Then last one, we still have some people asking questions about different surfaces. There's people about using them on non-clear surfaces, ceramic tiles, saturine sheets.
Yeah. I mean, we've used them on canvas. We've used them on Yupo paper. You can actually, I would imagine, definitely use them on like a ceramic tile. And you can make your own little coasters. Now, if you're doing coasters, I would say you might want to seal that. You could actually do a coating of resin on top, which would give you a really nice solid surface. It would seal your acrylic ink in, and you wouldn't have any shift when, like, someone puts their glass on your coaster. We even have, I did grab these. I didn't use them. That's the one thing. These are the little, I can't remember what they're called. I added them to the teacher's cart, but they're like the little, like, peel and stick bumpers that, like, it gives you a little bit of a buffer. So if I wanted to turn this into a coaster, all I have to do is put 4 of these on the corners, and it would hold up everything. The only thing with the 5x5 tiles is that I would say that they might have a little bit of flex to them if you put something heavy on them and you have like these little bumpers, because they're maybe like 1/8 of an inch thick, so that might be a bit of an issue. But if you do it with the ceramic tiles, you can actually use these, and it would kind of hold your tile up off the coffee table and not scratch, because that's the problem with the ceramic tiles, is that it has a really rough backside, and if you put that on your table, it's going to scratch it, which at that point, what's the point of a coaster? But yeah, no, you can definitely use these on ceramic tiles. If you had a white frame, you can even paint that with them. Like, you can drip them on literally anything. Your table, like I did. Here, I can probably still have it. The what?
Yupo paper?
Oh yeah, Yupo is a big one. Yupo is like a very plasticky kind of paper, and that it just maneuvers with this alcohol ink really, really well. So it's a lot of fun. Any other questions though?
There's a couple little ones you can go back and answer, like very specific ones. But other than that, I think those are all the.
And I mean, how are we doing on time? I feel like it flew by. Yay! I feel like I didn't take enough time, and it's already like, it's 6:30, right? That's crazy. All right, guys. Well, that was acrylic. I keep saying acrylic ink. I did that in my video too when I was announcing the winner for the. Yeah, last week we had Jeff Olson on about the Amsterdam acrylics, and we had a winner, and I announced it on a live video, and I said acrylic ink. Acrylic ink does not work like this. This is alcohol ink. Sorry, guys. But that was alcohol ink in a nutshell, and it's such a fun medium to use, especially on these clear acrylic tiles. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope I've sparked all kinds of ideas in your head, because I don't want to be the only one obsessed with this. But if you guys do this process, especially on the clear acrylic tiles, even if you don't, if you use Yupo paper or canvas, I want to see your artwork. So make sure you post it on Facebook, and you can post it on the Jerry's Live Facebook group, which is a beautiful community of artists that get together, and we just support each other as artists. In order to get into that group, you do have to answer one question. If you don't answer that question, you will be assumed a robot, and we cannot let you in, even though I think robots should be able to get in, but, you know, rules. So make sure you post it in that live group. If you post it to Facebook and not in the live group, you make sure that you tag it with the code JL191 so I can find it. I'm very excited to see your artwork. The other thing that you can do is also tag me, which is my Facebook page is Emmy, host of Jerry's Live, the whole thing. It's a little bit long, but at least you know exactly what you're getting. And then if you do it on Instagram, make sure to tag Jerry's Artarama. There are a lot of other accounts like Jerry's Artarama of Raleigh. That's our different stores. Make sure to tag just the one that says Jerry's Artarama. You can also tag me at misscakes.art and then the code JL191. So that way I can find your artwork, because I'm very excited to see what you guys do. But make sure you join me next week as well, because we're going to have a special guest on, and it's going to be the Soho Flat amazing golden acrylics, and I'm so excited. I haven't used them, and they look amazing. So Soho Flat acrylics, I'm very excited. Make sure you join me next week. That was everything, guys. Thank you so much.